Yeah, it's so freaking cold in the basement. My heater's not working, by the way. If you're watching the VOD, it's unfortunate. Also, it's just a surprise stream. I'm sure no one's gonna show up, so you know. Also, if you're watching this VOD, I'm gonna tell you a secret, alright? Since no one's here, I'm just gonna secretly write everyone who joined the stream, pretty much. Shoot, there's already people here. I was gonna just like stream by myself and just like talk by myself. I didn't know people were gonna be here. Well, um, yeah, basically what happened was around 2 days ago, my heater just suddenly stopped working. Like, I don't know why. So I'm right here just like trying to cope with because it's very cold in the basement, right? So like, but unfortunately, it's a freaking Saturday, so like no one is able to come until probably like Tuesday, unfortunately, because it's like a long weekend, right? In Canada, Monday is Victoria Day, so it's a holiday, so I'll have to wait. And my roommate's away too. He's like out on a vacation, so I'm just here like passing time, right? Honestly, it's not too bad. I just have to wear a bit more, like a hoodie inside, like all the time, but also, like, let me know if the stream's lagging or if you can hear my voice. I'm honestly just testing out this new like film, well, this Android film, just to see if the stream quality is a bit better. Yeah, Canada is notorious for being super cold in general. Also, thanks for being here, Tommy, by the way. Yeah, I'm honestly surprised you're here because I didn't say or tell anyone that I'm streaming on Discord or on my community posts. Normally, I would just like do an announcement, but today I think I'm just going to like, just chat with you. Like, I'm not even going to talk about life because I know yesterday's stream I kind of felt bad that I was rambling too much by myself. I wasn't really paying attention to what you guys were saying in the chat. So today I'm going to be a bit more silent in terms of what I'm going to be talking about in case people do show up. But hopefully the quality of the streams are better. Hopefully you guys can hear this a bit better. I might try this in the future if it works well, but I'm just honestly also just trying to figure out this works. I appreciate you, Tommy, for letting me know. Yeah. I'm not sure if you were in my stream yesterday or the other day, by the way, because normally, like, yeah, this is really my third stream. And another reason why I want to stream today is because I know I'm going to be busy tomorrow. Probably won't be able to stream tomorrow, which is Sunday or Monday. So the next time you'll see me on live is probably Tuesday. Because I'll be spending time with family, probably, since like a long weekend, right? Just getting some nice sunshine, which is probably pretty healthy, right? But yeah, so what are you up to? Just curious about what you've been doing like this long week, well, this weekend. Might not be the long weekend for the US because I'm pretty sure Monday is still a working day for you. Yeah, it's actually the only thing I don't like about streaming on the phone is just it's hard to see the chat. But yeah, so for anyone new who's here, like basically my heater stopped working. So right now I'm just like trying to pass time, just like taking any questions you all have because yesterday's stream I was pretty much rambling by myself, I wasn't really. Yeah. I might draw something actually. I'm gonna just draw a dragon. I'm gonna show you how good of artist I am, alright? Let's see. I'm just drawing right now. By the way, yeah. Basically my heater is probably gonna be fixed around Sunday. Unfortunately, right now I cannot get my heater fixed because, the guy won't come in until like Tuesday because it's a freaking long weekend in Canada. And it's like 10 degrees in Canada. 10 degrees here. Oh, hey, Alan. Iberio. Appreciate you being here, by the way. I actually have a video scheduled to upload tomorrow, so don't worry. If you guys want to watch more of me, just like you guys can wait till tomorrow morning. Should be out around 6 a.m. PST. And I want to also make more interactive, interesting videos where I actually use this board, you know? And let me know if you guys can read the text. Please tell me I don't have to, you know, stream like backwards. Well, the text is probably going to be backwards still, right? So I'm going to have to like write your name backwards, knowing that like on the stream it's going to be like that. But basically right now I'm drawing. My drawing's honestly pretty bad, so like... And I just realized I ran out of space. Fantastic. I didn't... Alright, let's see how well I'm gonna read your comments after I finish drawing this, which will be very fast, don't worry. Probably take like maximum a minute. Yeah, today I'm just doing a chill stream, just answering questions, right? Like yesterday I was kind of rambling about life, but I'm happy to talk about life too, if you guys are down for that. I just don't want it to be like, just me like, talking to myself. Yeah, this drawing's pretty horrible. This is like, not the best drawing, but, you know, it's... I forgot the teeth. Alright, I'm gonna start reading what you all have to say. So, Jonnet, thanks for being here. Appreciate you saying you love my videos. I'm glad you can resonate with them. And Alan, I'm just like very cold here in Canada because my heater stopped working, sadly, you know? Yeah, that's basically 40 Fahrenheit, pretty sure. And Commander Apple, I appreciate you being here. Anyways, since like it's gonna be backwards, like if I write your name, I might do that later, but unfortunate. But hopefully the stream quality is a bit better than yesterday. Why don't I announce on Discord? The things that like I don't really care too much about how many people are watching my stream, unless I'm doing something very crazy like a milestone or my birthday stream probably. But like I don't really like, you know, asking people for my attention, right? That just seems a bit selfish. So I just don't really like doing that too often, right? Unless it's like something that I'm really passionate about. But if it's just like streaming casually, I don't want to disturb people, right? People could probably get annoyed if I post it too often on Discord. And just, yeah. Oh, nice, Kaisen. I didn't know you were Commander Apple the entire time. Yeah. Also, honestly, I really need a better haircut. Like right now, my hair is like a freaking ball, like a fucking fur ball, you know? Like I probably need like a good hairstylist. Honestly, that's not the reason I'm covering my hair with my hood, by the way. It's like pretty cold here, you know? So, well, honestly, I like how your hair is pretty long. Actually, might grow my hair out. I'm actually curious to see like if I look better with long hair or short hair. Don't worry, Tommy. You're not a dumbass. You're chill. And yeah. Can you flip the camera? What are you using to record? It's hard to show you right now. It's like an Android phone. You can search up the phone model. It's the Samsung Galaxy A15. That's what I'm recording with. Alan, I'm from BC, like British Columbia. So West Coast. Okay, nice. Seems like I got everyone here. Yeah. Yeah. By the way, Tommy Cat, you're in the Discord, right? Like your name's Tommy Cat. I think I remembered your name before. But anyways, I just drew this. Luckily, it's a freaking drawing, so it being mirrored doesn't matter. Yep. I know it's not the best, but I used to like drawing dragons. I mean, this is like the same drawing I would draw like in grade 7. So, you know, my drawing skill has not really improved since then. It's pretty much stayed stagnant since then. But this is typically just... Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, it's a film from 2023. Mr. Front Camera, because if I do back camera, it's going to be kind of finicky because basically, you know, front camera, I can see your chat. If I do back camera, I'm not going to be able to read your, what you say in chat. No, it says I'm not in Discord. I get way too friendly. I learned my lesson. Um, yeah, some people on Discord can be unhinged. Like, but on my server, I like how a lot of them are brutally honest. Oh, cool, Alan. Manitoba's pretty chill. Honestly, like Manitoba, I prefer going there over Alberta, just because the people there just seems a lot more friendly. You could say, like Alberta, some people in Alberta are nice, but majority of people from Alberta are not great because, especially in the rural Alberta area, you can find a lot of people who are quite. I don't know the right term for it, but I feel like Alberta's very separate from the rest of Canada. Like probably even more separate than Quebec nowadays, right? Just because they're not a fan of the Liberal Party. But I don't really want to talk too much about politics. Oh yeah, I voted. Um, but it honestly doesn't matter because I felt like Liberals were gonna win anyways, just due to you know, the magnitude of the tariffs and stuff. Yeah. Honestly, I might do push-ups again today. I might see how many push-ups I can do, but maybe a bit later though. Like not right now, but yeah, Canada's great, except that it's very expensive. All I know from Canada's basically comes from Northern Line. Yeah, Canada's like solid, but the issue is that like I feel like it's kind of unaffordable for young adults. And basically, just a quick like spoiler for my next video. Like it's basically about money again. Just because I'm not a big fan of money, money is something that I'm not a huge fan of in general. The concept of it. Also, like I'm actually curious about like what you guys think about like in general like our life. Like, are we in simulation? Like recently, I've been thinking, are we living in a simulation or are we like not? Like, what's the actual meaning of life? Because I feel like I could read so many books about life, but it's never gonna give me the objective truth on life, right? Like, are we actually like real human beings, or are we just like yeah, it's very expensive and cold for Gen Z, and well, it's not better than the multiple shootings for a week. Yeah, actually, recently something happened close to home. Like, I think it was a month ago. Have you ever heard of the Vancouver shootings? Basically, I think it was a guy from Hong Kong. He was sort of like, well, it was not a shooting, but basically he was like on a black vehicle and he runs through a bunch of people. It was like really tragic and sad, like how that happened. Because normally that rarely happens in Vancouver. Vancouver used to be very safe, but now it seems like there's a lot of civil unrest. People just feel like it's interesting because I feel like people have a hard time managing their mental health nowadays. And I feel like there's a lack of treatment for it. Like there's so many drug addicts in East Hastings and Vancouver. Like so many people are addicted to fentanyl, like the drug, which kills a lot of people, sadly, here in Vancouver. And it feels like there's a lack of support system. That's why I don't really trust the government too much. Like government says they care so much about the safety and livelihoods of their citizens, right? But it seems like it's all talk, like no like action, right? That's why like I kind of gave up on like voting because either way it's a lose-lose situation, right? You're just trying to vote for someone who's less of an asshole, you know? But yeah, honestly, I'm gonna just see what I can. I don't know what I'm gonna draw or write. Maybe I'll do Hangman, you know? Actually, yeah, let's do Hangman maybe. Alright, we're gonna do Haming. This is pretty much, it's just 5 letters. Very simple, right? It's something related to the stuff I talk about in my videos. And what the heck is that thing? Okay, that's like a random icon here. Okay. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna read what you guys say real quick. I don't know why I didn't update earlier. Depends on the definition of simulation. So you would say yes. Okay. I guess simulation is kind of a deep topic, right? Like, it's not good to just put a blanket statement on it. Yeah, true. Like, we still have to pay the bills, even if we're in a simulation. And definitely, yeah, we have to vote for the lesser of two evils in the political realm. And Tommy, you said, I live 10 minutes from a place called Zombieland. Fentanyl's old here. Yeah, it does seem like fentanyl can be found pretty much anywhere, like even in the States and Canada. It doesn't really matter like where you're from. And do I believe in God, Alan, you ask? The thing about God is that I used to go to church. Like, if y'all didn't know, I used to go to a Baptist church. I was baptized when I was 12. So, I wouldn't say I was forced to be baptized. Like, my parents sort of asked me if I really believed in God or not, and I said yeah. And then I just took it for what it is, you know? Like, I was pretty much indoctrinated towards Christianity when I was a child without thinking too much about it. I didn't really read or learn about philosophy. All I did was read the Bible. And what I was taught was that the Bible is pretty much like law, right? Like, pretty much the Bible is the truth, right? So I just took it for what it is. And I feel like a lot of young adults think like that, right? They don't really want to be awakened or dig out of their comfort because they want to stick with their own ideology they grew up with their entire life. And after, like, I found out the corruption of certain churches, like some churches were using the money people offered for their own financial gain. They were investing the money people donated in church, like the pastors, for like their own businesses. So, yeah. Oh, happiest sad guy, you got it right. Dang, well, first try. Yeah, I think I made it a bit too obvious, right? Like, well, yep, it's money, and it's gonna be spelled backwards, but yeah. No Confucius teachings. That, yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, I think Buddhism makes more sense because Buddhism, you're not really worshiping like a freaking just one God. It's more about nirvana, right? Finding truth yourself, right? Rather than just worshiping one solid identity, right? God to me is a figure of faith. Anytime we create an image that people don't understand, fear and faith comes. It's like Bigfoot. Yeah, you hear faith a lot in Christianity, right? Like, you have to believe and have faith in God, right? God will save us all. Jesus will save us all from our sins and wash away our sins, right? And essentially, we have to acknowledge that our sins are wrong and we must forgive and repent, right? That's like part of the teachings of Christianity. At least that's how I was taught. And I feel like it's unfortunate how, like, they don't explain you the why. They just explain you what, right? They don't explain you the science behind why that's the case. Like, why are we doing all the things we're doing? So I never was honestly given the opportunity to ask the questions. Typically on a Sunday at church, I would just like worship the God, sing songs and sermon, and pretty much after that Bible study, I would just basically memorize quotes from the Bible. That's straight up what we did. We memorized quotes from the Bible. And we were not told why we were doing that. We were just told that it is something we do on Sundays. We just need to memorize scripture from the Bible because that's the right way to be a Christian. So I did it. And I pretty much read the Bible once. And pretty much the weird part is that, like, I don't know if this has happened to any of you, but basically, like, sometimes, like, let's say if I did something bad or got a bad grade in school, like it's almost like my parents use reading the Bible as a punishment. Like sometimes I would straight up have to read the Bible as punishment, right? I mean, that's better than, other stuff, right? Like, but still, it's kind of weird how like reading a Bible can be a punishment. I remember I had to spend entire like day reading the Bible. So no video games, no TV shows, straight up reading the Bible as punishment, just because, I got bad grades. So I guess, I mean, I'm sure that's like not too uncommon, but it's interesting though. It's been over 2,000 years. Jesus ain't coming back. I mean, who knows, right? If he does come, well, I'll be surprised. But that's like the only way to prove he exists, right? I feel like the things I don't want to turn down religion completely, right? Like, it's the same thing as asking does simulation. We are not going to know the answers through science, right? Like, our human brain cannot comprehend if a higher entity is going to exist, right? Just through reading books or scriptures of the Bible. It's more like, I feel like sometimes we end up focusing ourselves on the wrong questions, in a sense that, like, yeah, they have all these religious verses on the social media, but oh yeah, do you ever know those people, weird guys that post like on Facebook like quotes, like happiness, like I don't know, like what's that? I think it's like being selfish or like being jealous is a thief of joy. Like people would post those, like Christian moms would post those on Facebook, pretty much like those, like cheesy quotes on Facebook. Unfortunately, religion is usually an unhealthy obsession. Yeah, I feel like religion also takes up a lot of someone's time. Like someone can spend their entire life just reading the scripture, right? And do you find it interesting how like some people like those religion, something both the poor and the rich do. But I feel like in a way the rich almost exploits religion to control people, indoctrinate them, and right? It's like religion has been used for evil as well. So I don't think it's entirely good. But I do think people just exploit the existence of God in general, which is pretty much a huge sin, right? You're pretty much capitalizing on God to make money for yourself, right? That's pretty much what a lot of churches do. And if you think about it, like no one's gonna tell you just because. Starman, hey, what's wrong with your air condition? I'm an HVAC tech. Okay, I'm gonna explain my situation for anyone who's new here. Basically, what happened is that I don't know, my gas heater is not working right now. Like I still have hot water on my sink, my shower. Like I can still like get hot water from the shower, right? It just freaking gas heater is not working. Actually, no, it's not a gas heater. Sorry, it's the heater's powered by water. I'm sorry to hear your heater's not working. Yeah, it's fine. Honestly, I just need to wear like 2 layers. I have like another layer down here, like a long sleeve. But Tommy, promise you said Zir. Promise me this isn't the start of a Mooney call. I don't know what a Mooney call is. You're gonna have to explain what that is. Daddy says my air conditioner is not working. It's hot in the U.S. Well, I'm not sure. I think I'd rather be. That's actually a good question. Would you guys rather be freezing to death or like super hot to the point where like you can't like freaking breathe? I don't know. Like I don't know what's worse, being super cold or being super hot. Let me know what you guys prefer. That's like a really serious question, actually. Yeah. Tommy, you also said spelling and math are a concept that proves pen to paper. I can't really solve a God problem, if that makes sense. Yeah. Do you know what's funny? They don't teach you certain things in school. For some reason, school does not teach you philosophy. And I think I know why. Because if they teach you philosophy, people are not going to be brainwashed. People are not going to be indoctrinated. Have you realized in education, in the school system, here, okay, this is something pretty important. In the school education system, they don't teach you politics. They don't teach you religion. They don't really teach you, well, I guess they kind of do if you go to Christian school, but basically what I'm saying is like public schools, right? They're not going to have a course on Christianity. You're not going to be graded on it specifically in the public education system. They're also not going to teach how to do taxes. Basically anything that's pretty much important, they're not going to teach you. Or like something that's going to make you go against the order of things. If basically anything that goes against the status quo, they're gonna not let you do. They're gonna make you focus on math, science, right? Social studies, freaking like stuff that's like unrelated to religion, politics, or philosophy. Like you're not gonna study the existence of God or existence of life itself when you're like in grade 1 or 2, right? Like you have to basically teach, unless you go to university, right? But that's like, by then you're already like brainwashed, right? They don't teach you like religion or like politics when you're like grade 1. And it's definitely not one of these, because certainly, I know I'm speaking from my limited worldview, but when I was in school, I never even had the opportunity to take a class in philosophy or religion or politics in high school, unfortunately. Daddies, you said I like to talk to you private, specifically about the public school system and capitalism. Basically, you already have it right, but it would be fun to talk about it or anyone else. Sure, you can add me on Discord. I actually want to learn more because I feel like I'm starting to repeat myself because my worldview is very limited and I do want to study a bit further. So I might start trying to learn more about it, but definitely I want to watch out and try not to get brainwashed. Johnny, you said one thing I never see people talk about is how practical courses were removed from a lot of schools, like home economics that taught you how to cook, all this shop. Yeah, do you know the weird thing? I feel like they should prioritize more, essential practical courses, right? It seems like they care more about theory, right? Like math, science, than like how to cook, how to do taxes, like how to drive a car. Like, wouldn't it be amazing if everybody just straight up had a driving class? Like, literally, you were graded, like your knowledge test, you can just do it in the school, and then you can just like everybody just drives a car, right? For one of the class in high school, so you don't have to go to a separate location. It's like, and I never knew how to do taxes until I was like freaking almost like 20 years old. I'm being dead serious because my parents did my taxes before, and basically my high school never taught anyone how to do taxes. University never taught me how to do taxes, right? Like, I literally had to Google search how to do taxes, which is kind of crazy. And my school also didn't really teach anything about politics. And a lot of the things we learn in social studies feels like it was heavily censored. Like one of my coworkers at work is indigenous. He's First Nations, and he told me that 80% of his clan has been wiped out. So he's actually a pretty chill guy, by the way. But basically, like, it's kind of sad how a lot of the things you read in like history books are pretty biased, heavily censored. They kind of almost view like us as the heroes, like we're saving the First Nations in a way. Like they're painting a completely different perspective and picture than what's reality, right? Like a kid who's bad at math but an excellent writer shouldn't have to follow school because of bad math. Yeah, exactly. I feel like everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses, right? Just because you're struggling in English and you're good at math doesn't mean you shouldn't go through and graduate. Because if you think about it, we humans, like, we all have our strengths and weaknesses. You can't expect someone to excel in every single dang subject. Imagine being forced to be good at math, freaking science, like biology, history, biology, chemistry, physics, and also being good at writing, being good at freaking history too. There's like so many different skills, but unfortunately, education system wants us to be good at pretty much everything. They want us to be like And then of course, once we hit like graduation, then you have to figure out what you want to do. But at that point, like they don't really help you decide what career path you go. I actually spoke to so many people. So many people are frustrated with the career they chose. Like even the smart people that got straight A's, a lot of them end up switching their career. I realized. So I don't think it prepares us for the real world. Alan, yes, I do talk in Discord a lot. Brian said on one hand, each course is specifically so each teacher is specialized. A general knowledge course, so you're able to teach all subjects. Yeah. Phil Listinic, you said in my home X, they taught mostly baking, no taxes. I mean, that's interesting, but I'm surprised they don't teach you how to do taxes though. Yeah, Tommy, you said my biggest issue overall, John, is that 7 adults teach one mind, a whole class at a time, and that one mind should retain 7 adults is ironic. One adult can't teach all 5. Yeah, I actually had teachers that taught multiple subjects in elementary school, and you could tell some of them are not informed. You know what's crazy? I used to want to be a teacher back then because I felt like I just wanted to I just enjoyed teaching people in general, but I didn't end up doing it because I was more into like design, right? Like graphic design. And I feel like teaching itself can get kind of stagnant, and also like I don't really want to take general classes in like science, like chemistry, biology, and physics. Like I'm not a huge fan of those subjects. I feel like I'm much better at like social science and even English. Like I believe it or not, I did better in English than math in high school. Like I got like 96% in English in high school. By math, I got like in the 70s. I got like 72%. I pretty much got a C plus in math. And yeah, it's kind of funny how a lot of people think I'm good at math. I remember so many people in high school asked me to tutor them, but I told them like I'm literally like pretty bad at math, right? Even though like I'm Asian. So that's why I don't really like stereotypes, you know? I feel like stereotypes kind of give you more stress in certain subjects, right? Like in my math class, people expect me to do better. And like there's one teacher I remember he used to always call out our grades out loud. He would literally expose the grades we get from each test. And that was like the only year I actually tried in math because I didn't want people to think I'm like Asian kid who's like bad at math, right? That's like the worst thing you could be called. So I tried hard pretty much every test, and luckily that was grade 9, and I ended up getting like at least 90% every test, and luckily it didn't. I wasn't too worried because of that. But yeah, just something an interesting story, you know. Johnny, say especially when in the past, most people were just farmers. Now they expect you to be a jack of all trades. Yeah, exactly. I feel like it's must. Do you find it very interesting? Back then, when like before all this, I feel like everybody knew their social role. Everybody knew their role in society from the get go, right? You were either born a peasant or you were not. You know you'll never be rich. In a sense, that made people like a lot better because I feel like knowing too much have its caveats, right? Back then, people weren't as educated. If you think about it, when you know less, it's actually healthier for your mental health. Like when you were a baby and toddler, you didn't know too much about the world. So you didn't have to worry about depression. And you didn't have to distract yourself from reality because your reality and your worldview is very limited when you're a kid and toddler. But the more you educate yourself, the more you realize how messed up the world is. So sometimes, if you think about it, knowing less stuff is better. Like reading less books, being less educated could actually save your mental health and sanity, right? But yeah, that's just my perspective though. Because I realized when I was young, when I was sheltered, I didn't really care too much about my existence. I really only cared about if I had time to play video games during that day, or if I was able to go, like ride my bicycle. It was like this little things I used to care about and get upset over. Now, once you know more and discover more about life and start to be self-aware of it, you realize that's a lot harder to be happy, right? Yeah, I feel like it's also not good to spend too much time on the specifics, especially the deeper you dive, you might slowly get indoctrinated or brainwashed. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people who read books sometimes base off their entire knowledge off certain books they read. They don't have their own thought. Like they don't take into information and transfer it into something that makes sense to them. They just straight up read the book and assume that's all facts, right? And they just like spit out what's been stated in the book, and they'll quote the person who wrote the book, right? I feel like a lot of people don't do critical thinking after the book. They just recite the stuff they learned in a book. You said that's why in capitalist society, all the children graduate from schools and they know nothing except to work. Yeah, exactly. Like when you're a kid, your parents probably ask you what do you want to be when you grow up. You'll probably say like you're a firefighter, or you want to be a doctor, or you want to go to the moon, right? But they're not gonna ask you like they don't guide you and help you discover yourself. Like what are truly your hobbies? Like what are you good at? They'll guide you to making you do something that's gonna generate you money, right? Because ultimately they want you to, be successful. And in our society, being successful means being rich and happy, right? You can't be happy with no money. So money is pretty much almost like the bottleneck you need to go over to, be happy. Like back then, like the funny part? I feel like kids are much happier because they don't care about money. Money only becomes an issue when you start working, when you actually need to afford rent, food necessities, like my freaking heater, which I have no more. My heater's broken, right? I probably have to pay a lot, just pay money just to freaking feel comfortable. Like back then, like you can literally just like straight up, light up a fire, and then yeah, you don't have to worry about it. But I guess in the capitalist society, your things are more convenient, right? You're able to enjoy like a lot of things people couldn't do back then. But I feel like mental health is a massive issue, right? You're pretty much trading off mental health. Because if you notice, I feel like so many people struggle from mental health issues nowadays. Like more than before, if you notice. Like in our generation. I feel like the more we consume, the more depressed we get. So it's like a negative feedback loop in a way. Like sure, we have more things to make ourselves feel happy, right? Distract ourselves. That in return, we also become like less happy because our mental health is worse. Whiplash was a cool movie. Yeah, I'll definitely check out Whiplash. I wrote that quick, so there are a lot of missing words. The most important thing people should learn is how to learn and to spot disinformation and propagandas. Yeah, that's true. I feel like some people don't really know how to identify the right, fallacies, right? Movie Whiplash. Yeah, I'll definitely watch that movie. Honestly, I don't really watch too much movie, but I'm down to watch any old movie. Maybe not the new ones because I feel like a lot of older movies just you could say are less cliche because now they recycle the formula for the new movies, right? There's so much reboots now. They made like 3 Batman movies in the last 20 years. Learning new things something you should do your whole life. Yeah, I do think learning is going to be a lifelong process. There's no shortcut to it. Everybody has their own stage of learning, right? So just oh hey Patricia Fernandez. I think you're a new face. I'm just reading some of the stuff he said. I'm probably gonna go up real quick. Just gonna stop talking for a bit. Okay, nice. Tommy, you said you naturally survive in sports. But science, history, yeah, fuck off. Spelling, I was fine. Enough. Math was a weak point. Well, that's great. I feel like it's almost human evolution, right? Our genetics. Maybe your ancestors were super good at like sports, right? Or like they were very physical. They were like more street smart, right? We all have our strengths. So we should maximize our strengths for sure. And Janet, John, you said especially when in the past, most people were just farmers. Now they expect you to be jack of trades. Yeah, it makes sense. Like back then, we didn't have an identity crisis. Nowadays, I feel like so many people struggle with their own identity. They don't know if they have a personality because our society gives us too much options, right? In this capitalist society, like you can be a doctor, you can be an engineer, you can be an artist. Back then, if you're a peasant, you're a peasant for life. You're not going to be like a royal or a knight. It's basically how you were born. Yeah, I do think ignorance being bliss has some merit to it, but it's also not good to ignore to the point where you're just like distracting yourself, training for seven about reality. I think it's good to be self-aware of it, but don't overthink the entire day. Like, don't make it ruin your day, right? It's good to talk about social issues, but it's not good to dwell on it too much. You should watch the video, The Way Seer Manifesto. It's not for everyone, but everyone can relate to it. Sure, I'll definitely take a look. I'll relax on the chatting so we can collect. What do you think of a parent when they say, I will find a mate, then I will kick you out because you're broke? Dean asked. Well, I feel like that happens to a lot of people. Actually, the people I know, they have Asian parents and they kicked out their kid when they were 18. And yeah, due to that, they had to find a roommate. They had to literally sleep in someone's freaking garage for like months before getting like a part-time job as a waiter. So it's pretty rough out there. For me personally, I was grateful enough to not be kicked out, even though I didn't really have a stable job at 18. Guess where I was working when I was 18 years old? Well, 18 years old, I worked at Wendy's for a year until I quit to go to school. But during my time at Wendy's, I didn't like it because I was pretty much the only Asian there, like Chinese. Everybody else was either Indian or like Caucasian, right? And it was quite something, let's just say that. John, at these days you have to learn a marketable skill that pays well. Just be, yeah, definitely be marketable. Having, high demand in our society is very important. That's why it's so hard to get into design. You have to learn a new software every year, right? Like prototyping software like Figma, Adobe XD, Photoshop, Illustrator. There's like, you have to constantly learn in this society. You can't stop learning. That's an issue. And the scary part is that your industry can be completely fucked. For example, the design industry right now is getting absolutely dumpstered due to AI, right? AI can generate such good designs. In fact, I used ChatGPT today to generate some designs. They looked amazing. I could never design them myself. And if you didn't know, I used to design posters in the past. Now AI can make better posters than me when I designed before. So you don't even need to learn how to design to be a designer anymore. I'm pretty sure a lot of jobs are going to be automated as well. Yeah, Brian, I agree. You used to be able to get a shit job and get by. Now you have to have a real good job just to get by. And not only that, you need to have a job you don't hate to the point where you're going to quit. I know so many jobs that pay decently, but the company culture is pretty toxic, right? People will talk about you behind your back. They'll backstab you. They'll walk over you to get a promotion. This actually happened to one of my parents, friends, basically, they were kind of being exploited, right? Like, pretty much, they would just constantly be underpaid. And they'll literally pay the new hires more than the actual employees, which is kind of scummy, right? And there's a lot of ghost jobs. There's a lot of job postings on Indeed. Let's say you're looking for a retail job. You're trying to get a job at Costco or Walmart, right? As a retail associate. Or just inventory management. You're trying to stock shelves, count the shelves, like how many items, right? Basically, these jobs, like, a lot of times they advertise just because of unknown reason. But hear me out. A lot of these jobs are not going to hire anyone because they're ghost jobs. They're just there just to make it look like they are hiring, but they're actually not going to hire anyone, right? So I think it's very scummy how some like companies do that. There's actually one company I worked for. I'm just going to expose them right now. I'm going to expose this one company I worked for. I'm not going to say their straight up name, but basically they made a lot of designs, like they printed logos. They're pretty much like a, what do you say, an embroidery shop, right? They do heat transfer labels, they do screen printing, they do laser cutting, and basically a lot of times they would advertise and post a job on Indeed, and they would only hire people from China. Basically, the job posting is pretty much like a gateway for Chinese citizens to get a green card to Canada, essentially. So I would realize I was working with a lot of people that just came from China, just with a work permit. It's almost like some jobs are only meant for like certain people. Like they don't hire anyone with a Canadian citizen. Basically, the people from China pay a hefty amount of money just to get a green card, just to get this job. And chances are they're probably not even doing the job, like what the job description asks, right? Pretty much people from China pay to get the job, and then they go to the company and do like maybe janitor duty, right? And it's kind of ridiculous how some companies do that, right? I'm not sure if anyone of you know that's like something new. Brian, you said I pick maintenance because even if I end up homeless, I'll be able to. Yeah, that's true. Like maintenance, it's pretty useful because I feel like having hands-on skills is so important nowadays. I also have a coworker who's a car mechanic. Like he makes so much money on the side. He makes like $2,000 per car he fixed. Like changing the battery, that's like easy, like close to $1,000, right? It's just unfortunate how like arts and design is not needed. Like only the essential industry makes good money nowadays, like consistent ones. Like be a nurse. That's why so many people are doing nursing now because nurses are always needed. You don't always need graphic designer. In a zombie apocalypse, think of all the jobs that would be obsolete. Those are the jobs you should not do in a zombie apocalypse. No one's gonna care about a logo. No one's gonna care about a website during a zombie apocalypse. But they will care about electricity. So electricians will be doing well in the zombie apocalypse. Nurses will be doing well. So I think my advice for people is that think of what will happen during zombie apocalypse. Apply to jobs that are probably going to be useful during zombie apocalypse. And there you have it. But hopefully, honestly, I wouldn't mind too much if zombie apocalypse happens. Just because maybe things would get better. Maybe people would start being more genuine and more authentic, right? Showing their true colors. Because you need a strong sense of trust during zombie apocalypse. There's no room for small talk during zombie apocalypse. Like in The Last of Us, right? You don't hear people just like screwing around and backstabbing each other, right? Brian, you said there are some pretty complicated batteries to install. Your friend charges 1,000 to replace the battery. Press X to doubt. Oh, that's just example. I feel like it's like probably lower, like more like 100 to 200. But basically, he says he makes like $1,000 to fix someone's car. So he said it very broadly. I don't know what he means by fixing a car, right? Because that could mean a number of things. But yeah, carpentry is a pretty useful trade. What do I think of sex work? Test user says. I mean, if you needed to get by, go for it, right? I'm not here to judge. I'm not gonna look down on you if you do that type of stuff. But if someone forces you to do it, that's not cool. You should not do it if someone, recommends you to do it, but you don't feel like doing it. And Janet, you said my Japanese fluent because I was a weeb. In Spanish, I can read. Dang, you should definitely. Language is a very important skill. I kind of wish I spent more time learning languages because I feel like I could have escaped 95, like wage slaving. Do you know why? Because I can literally just pretty much tutor people in like Spanish, Chinese, Japanese, and I could even meet new people like that as well. One of my former friends, he does tutoring. He makes like $30 an hour. He charges at least $30 an hour, and he's able to do it. So maybe I should learn language. Let me know what language I should learn. Maybe I should learn Spanish or learn how to write in Chinese. I only know how to speak in Mandarin, but I don't know how to write. Or I can learn Japanese, right? Always been into Japanese culture, not just anime, but into the temples, the history, and stuff like that. So let me know, actually. Brian said Z, you should probably make money translating Mandarin. Yeah, I wish I could, but I can't really read or write. I can only speak. Girls can do carpentry maintenance. Yeah, I feel like girls just can't do construction, like heavy duty labor, right? They're not built for that. Their bodies, genetics just aren't built for that. But they can definitely do, what do you call it? Like certain trades that's not heavy on the body, like light trades, you could say. Dating test user, you said you make $50 per hour at the retirement home as a male sex worker. Old ladies pay good money to have sex with young guys. That's crazy. Maybe I should get behind that. But for real though, that's crazy. I'm so happy you're able to make $50 an hour. But honestly, I feel like I wouldn't feel too happy about doing that. Especially, let's say your parents find out, your friends. I know, like, I'm all about, like, you shouldn't care what other people judge you for, but it's just not something, just doesn't seem like my calling, right? Like, imagine that's what I do my entire life, just to eat, sleep. It's like, I'm pretty much, like, capitalizing on a human body. Like, actually, if we put it that way, we pretty much capitalize on our human body in a way. If you work as an engineer or a programmer, you're capitalizing on your brain, the body part, your brain. If you work as like construction, you're capitalizing your arms and your legs, right? If you think about it, sex work is no different. It's just like a different part of your body, right? If you put it, that's an interesting way to think. I feel like not a lot of people think it that way. They don't think they're actually selling their body, right? But we technically are selling our body on an hourly basis, right? We're allowing someone to use our brain, some parts of our brain, to give them revenue when we use a job that's heavy on the brain, like needs problem solving. And it's kind of dumb how like we're kind of like capitalizing on our body parts, right? Yeah, all work is using your body. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like sex work is still using your body. Like there's no point looking down on people. And you hear a lot of people judge others for doing sex work when they're literally using another part of their body, right? Like, do you know what the funny part is? Like, it's probably easier to just do like sex work because like at least you're enjoying it as well. Like when you're like doing construction, you're probably gonna be sore the next day, right? So those are the guys who should feel bad, right? Like, trust me, I've done some light, heavy lifting. It's not pleasant, man. Your arm, you can't barely lift your arms next day. It just feels so stiff. David, you said I don't want to learn programming. Yeah, that's actually what I heard from a lot of my old friends. They said accounting, programming are very mind-numbing. Like, they're very tedious to do, right? It's pretty much like dumb labor. Like, once you get the gist of it. Tommy, you said you did flooring commercially. That would not dwell well for women. I'm not sure what flooring is. Is that just like doing the floor tiles? Sorry, I'm not too sure what that is. I'm assuming something to do with like designing the tiles of the floor. Yeah. Oh, test user. You actually have a computer science degree, but sex work pays better and is easier. Well, good for you. I'm actually proud of you because you actually managed to get a computer science degree, but you're willing to do sex work instead just because you're more happy due to it being better, easier. I feel like a lot of people don't have the dignity to do it. I feel like it takes a bit of confidence to do sex work, right? When you have a degree as well. Like most people are just gonna go with the education just because that's the way society wants us to do things, right? Oh yeah, AI is gonna ruin the programming industry. I agree. It's not the best time to learn coding. Yeah, I could try learning Mandarin, by the way, John. I'll see. Retardo Joe Star. Hopefully you're still here, but I studied graphic design in college. It's pretty much obsolete now, though. AI took over. Yeah, unfortunately, for old ladies to pay you, you have to be super hot, like a male model, in order to do like sex work, right? Crypto, you said you like it cold. Well, my heater is still not working, so I'm still freezing right now, unfortunately. I might do some work, like push-ups soon. But yeah, I agree. Like Mandarin's probably the easiest thing for me to learn. I'm gonna learn Mandarin probably, and yeah, at least I kept up with you guys. Have you considered contact lenses? Not really, because I feel like I look kind of strange without my glasses. Like I'm gonna take off my glasses right now. I don't know. I feel like I look better with glasses, even these glasses, right? Like I'm gonna take my hood off. I feel like I still look better with glasses. Maybe I can't really tell, honestly. Well, yeah. Basically, I can barely see without my glasses. I can't see the chat right now. I can't see what all of you guys are saying without my glasses right now. So, and I feel like my eyes just appear much smaller without my glasses. Like, this is how I normally glance at things, right? My eyes probably seem small. I have to literally like open my eyes for it to look normal, you know? And I look kind of weird. I feel like I look almost autistic without my glasses, right? Like, oh, I look fine either way, Brian. That's good reassurance. You just used to your glasses on. That's fair. Tommy, Yasel Zir, you should try every other stream. Explosive push-ups, faster while controlled for size, then slower consistent endurance. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. You guys can watch, and I feel like that helps give me accountability for myself, right? Because your eyes look bigger because your script is probably strong. Oh, that makes sense. It magnifies your glasses, makes them look bigger. Test user says, why not just get contacts? You look older without the glasses. I'm not. You know what's funny? I feel like it's probably better to look younger, isn't it? Like, it's. I feel like a lot of people just prefer to look younger than older. But I guess I know where you're coming from. Like, it's probably easier to get women if you look older, right? Okay, that makes sense. Tommy, you said contacts are literally expensive as fuck over 6 years. Do you know what else I can do, guys? Laser eye surgery. But that's like so expensive, and if that gets botched, I'm screwed for life. I think I'd rather just like do contact lenses, right? Than freaking laser eye surgery. Man, I just realized so many people do surgery. People literally do laser eye surgery, double eyelid surgery. Basically, Asians don't really have double eyelids. You can see my eyes. There's like no eyelid on the bottom. Typically, like, well, or on top. Basically, like, Caucasian men have like double eyelids, but Asians don't have it due to genetics. So they also do that. They also do facial surgery. They do chin surgery. They do jawline surgery. They do freaking hair implants sometimes too. There's like so much surgery people do nowadays, to the point where like It's kind of interesting. I guess like that's why I feel like money can sort of buy looks almost in a way, right? Like you can completely change an ugly person to like a 9 out of 10 if you have enough money. So if you think about it, money probably matters more than appearance because with good money you can buy the appearance aspect. Good haircut to do it can do it. Yeah, definitely haircut matters so much. Like my haircut is horrendous. So the issue is that like, like I'm not really looking for a girlfriend right now, and plus haircuts aren't that cheap. I've done haircuts for like $30, but I don't know. I just feel like I'll rather just cut my hair myself, Oh, Jake. No, I don't think I'm better looking than you are, but I mean, I feel like I'm just pretty mid, I'm just like a regular Asian guy, right? Just being themselves. I'm not really like some crazy person out there that's like women's gonna stare at. And I feel like a lot of women just look at me, see me as cute, right? Like almost like a younger brother in a way, right? They don't really see me as someone they'll date. That's how I feel sometimes. Tessa, you asked like, do you prefer Asian women? Don't they just care about money and status? Yeah, honestly I don't care about like what ethnicity they are. I just care about like how they treat me, right? If they're sincere, if like, or are they just dating me for like some financial gain or like something that's like for selfish reasons, right? Because ultimately you have to think long term, right? Like you're probably gonna spend a long time with that person. You don't want to be with that person just because they're 9 out of 10, because it's probably gonna be short lived. At that point, just get hookups. Go buy a prostitute, right? That's why I feel like a lot of men who use dating apps just date just to get hookups, right? Brian said, when you're mid, like me too. Cute is what you shoot for. Yeah, I guess cute is better than nothing. Cute is better than like ugly, right? Honestly, for women, I still prefer. I feel like it's kind of hard call, in terms of ethnicity, but I don't really care too much. I wouldn't even worry about looks. I look 25 when I'm calm and collected. I look 40 when I'm sweating in my heartbeat. Yeah, I find that also like when I get lack of sleep, when I get 5 to 6 hours of sleep, I look much older. Like recently, I've been getting 6 hours of sleep, so I've been feel like I look older. But if you go back to my very early videos, right, like from 3 months ago, I look much younger than my recent videos. And it's honestly due to me just working overtime for the past few weeks at work. By the time I get home, it's like 7, like basically after dinner. And I have to do a lot of chores, errands, and I just want to chill, right? And I'm sleeping late. And unfortunately, now I have sleep deprivation. So that's why yesterday I slept pretty early. I slept at like 10 o'clock. Rogue Ranger, you have good hair genetics, so I appreciate that. Yeah, do you know what the craziest thing is? I don't really use hair oil. I know some people use hair oil. They use certain shampoo so their hair doesn't look washed out. Like this is based on my hair right now. Like I basically I didn't add anything to my hair. I think all I did was like I used like Head and Shoulders shampoo. And yeah, basically like yeah, this is typically how my hair looks like every day without doing anything. Like basically Zeddy, Brian, you said I have high cheekbones. I guess I suppose, yeah. I think honestly it just has to do with my haircut. You know what? I'm gonna do my hair live. Actually, I'm gonna need something to place my phone. One sec, guys. I'm gonna do experiment. I'm actually curious. You guys are gonna watch me do my hair live. I'm probably just gonna apply like, let's see. Alright, hopefully you guys can still see me. Because I was planning on not doing hair because I'm not really going outside later. And I don't really want to wash my hair. It's just pretty tedious. That's why I don't really use hair gel. Let's see. Yeah, currently I have this. I know this is not the best hair gel. This is just something I have currently. I don't really use hair gel, but this is the one I use. Sorry if you see it backwards. It says Garnier Fructis style structure sculpting gel. So it's just bamboo extract. The rocking chair is the bane of existence, Jane said. Yeah, I love this rocking chair. It's so comfortable. That's literally a freaking... I can lean on this, which is pretty nice. It helps my back so much. Like, I can literally put my legs over here as well. Like, it's pretty chill. Ever consider growing your hair out long? Wait, for real? Do you think I should have long hair? Like, do you think I look better with long hair or short hair? Because I've always struggled with that. I feel like that's the issue. I usually just cut it when it's around this length, to be honest. Alright, I'm gonna do some magic here. Let's see if I look very different. By the way, I'm pretty amateur when it comes to styling hair. I don't really style my hair. Because I find myself more of a minimalistic person, right? I don't really care too much about like fashion, like looks and stuff. That's why I don't really spend money on stuff that has to do with looks. But I usually just like to spend money on necessities and my computer. I probably spend more money on my dang computer than myself, which is kind of funny. Yeah, honestly, my hair's not even that long right now. Yeah, I feel like I still need to grow out my hair a bit longer. It's not to the point where... Oh yeah, or I can just do short and spiky. Test user, you said never again. Lift 2 times to 3 times a week. Date a loud black chick. Go outside. On Phil Stick, you said it is really thin. So I just gave myself a buzz cut all couple weeks. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people just give themselves a buzz cut just to get it over with. I know, like, it's so tedious doing your hair. The caveats and negatives of having long hair is that you have to sort of style it every morning. Or you can just simply put on a baseball cap. And you don't really have to worry about styling your hair, right? Like, my hair right now is not very long. It's honestly pretty short, like, from the back, right? It's just like... Oh, Tommy, he said 40% of artists are literally average Joes. 60% seem to have issues. It's a blanket statement. Do you know... Yeah, I feel like a lot of people end up actually spending a lot of time on surgery. Like, money. For me, I never done surgery in my life. I probably would never do facial surgery or surgery in any type of my body unless I need it for health reasons, right? But I can see why some people do surgeries, right? So they can eliminate, they can basically look smacks, essentially, right? Here's the one thing you can do that dramatically changes your look. Or a beanie. True, you can just hide your hair with a beanie. I mean, actually, I look pretty decent with a baseball cap. I might, like, wear a baseball cap sometimes, but, yeah. Unemployed is an art form field. Employed at Chipotle. Everyone I know who's an artist that isn't in New York or Los Angeles immediately after high school or after college is unemployed and working at Chipotle. I mean, I know a lot of people, like high school graduates, that work as bartenders. Actually, bartending is a pretty chill job. And you just can't drink alcohol, but besides that's pretty chill. Also, selling alcohol is pretty chill too. Being like a cashier in an alcohol shop. Test user, we are in the new dark ages. Artists are not going to do well. Do you know what's funny? Artists only do well when they die. Musicians and artists only become famous after they die. So they're only rich after they die. But what's the point of money when you die, right? If you have lots of money after you die. Sure, maybe you can pass it on to your family members, right? Your relatives, but you're not going to reap the benefits. So that's why I feel like it's unfortunate that's the case. Tommy, you said indigenous Americans, the women have more pronounced cheekbones than men. Yeah, I did notice indigenous people have crazy genetics. Some of them actually look pretty good. Tessie here, you said I need to start lifting and date a girl that's like exactly. Okay, do you think there's a girl on Earth that has a similar personality than me? Like someone who's modest, like maybe someone who's like minimalistic, right? Someone who's just my around my league, right? I don't think there's many girls that are like me, sadly. Like most girls are probably like care more about like money, care more about someone who's 6 feet, someone who's probably like has a crap ton of muscles, right? Like for me, I don't mind working out, but I'm not here trying to be like, a freaking, you know, the Hulk, right? I'm just scrolling up to see if I missed any of the chat. I think that should be fine. There's girls like you out there, Z. Brian said, well, they're clearly not here watching right now. It's odd disguise, right? Clearly, like, even my Discord server, it feels like it's only guys that join. I don't think there's many girls that join, and the girls that join there have gone through a lot of trauma, right? I kind of feel bad for a lot of them there, right? Because they're in the minority, and it's like they have to deal with a lot of real life stuff. The girls like me are already vaguely persuaded by Jock Joe and the gang. Yeah, they're already been basically they're taken by people that are quite successful already. Have you heard of nerd girls? The issue is that I'm not really into too nerdy type of girls. Like the girls that pretty much play Magic the Gathering. Like I still want a girl to have a bit of personality and just be someone more like me, right? Like I would say I'm not even that much of a nerd because I'm not really into like card games like Dungeons and Dragons. I see myself more as someone who just like a shut in. But I guess like I'm sort of a bit of a nerd like when it comes to video games, right? I won't find girls on the internet. Yeah. The issue is that real life girls are probably not. I'm not gonna find anyone in real life with the same personality as me because I barely go outside, right? Like, what are chances of a girl that is also like that? Yeah, don't worry. I won't take a trans girl. Like, I don't want to be homophobic, but I'm not really into like trans. Like, all the power to them, what they identify as, but. Wait, what's crystals? Tommy, I need to know what crystals are. Brian, you said gamer girls, yeah. I mean, I guess that works. You all say gamer girls and you mean OnlyFans models. Yeah, I feel like the gamer girls aren't an accurate depiction of nerdy girls, right? A lot of gamer girls are actually just IRL girls that just decided to make profit. Like, if you think about it, OnlyFans is pretty much prostitution work, but pretty much online. Right, remote prostitution work. That's essentially what OnlyFans is. It's pretty much capitalizing on their bodies. But it's better than prostitution work, OnlyFans, because you don't have to do the act, right? You don't have to do the sexual act. OnlyFans, you just literally take a picture of yourself naked, right? And then you're good. You have enough money to pay your rent. In fact, you're probably going to have enough money to get a mansion in 6 months. So that's why girls do it, right? I feel like it's easier for women to get rich nowadays than before due to like OnlyFans and how easy it is to watch like adult content, right? Back then, there was only really like magazines. It's a lot easier to you know, get addicted to those stuff. Some people are posting hardcore OnlyFans stuff. Most women aren't making money on OnlyFans. Johnny, I'm curious, where do you actually make money? Actually, like, I'm super curious. Earth feed girls eating crystals and making crap blend soup. I'm not sure what that is. Brian said, I always liked girls who were kind of a mix, cute but a little nerdy, maybe a little damaged from other guys treating them bad. Always helps. They're looking for a nice guy. Honestly, I feel like that type of girl probably suits me. A girl that just needs spiritual, well, not really spiritual healing, just needs a bit of healing, just needs someone to tend to them, right? Like, I can kind of just like make them feel comfortable, but sadly, like, I feel like it's kind of hard to find girls like that. Phil Listinic, you said, no, the astrology type, that would get exhausting unless you're into it. I think the idea of personality is a shadow idea because it's very subjective. Yeah, that's why personality is almost, the term is almost overused. Honestly, I'm not sure what I should write on my whiteboard, to be honest. But man, there's like so much stuff. By the way, man, I used to have really bad skin issues. If you guys didn't know, like I used to use eczema. I used to have eczema, so I would apply this like pretty much 2 times a day. It's pretty bad. It's like when your skin gets very, very red and scaly and start itching. Like right now, you can see there's already a bit of a crack over here. It's like basically it's kind of like pretty annoying when my skin just cracks like that. I should hit John it from the back. I would love a nerdy guy, but I freaked him out. Oh wait, John, I didn't know you were a girl, by the way. I thought you were a guy because like your profile picture is so freaking small and. Obviously, I have a lot more of this. And Brian, I'm happy you're here again, by the way. Like, I saw you last time. I'm pretty grateful you're here as well. You always have something insightful to say, right? You seem like a really, like, what's the term for it? Like, a really kind soul, almost. Because, like, you're pretty chill. I like your vibe from you, yeah. So, Shunamit Sarah. Personality is persona based. Soulful spirit based. Yeah, makes sense. Personality is more like our like more like surface level in a way, like more from the outside. Soulful is more from the inside, like something you don't show like physically. Brian, you said you're very chill, a bohemian type, like the dude from Big Lobo Whiskey. Sorry, I don't know what that is, but I'll take that as a good thing. I'm not sure what I should write on my whiteboard. I was thinking of like writing names, but that's kind of dumb. Like I don't want to write them backwards. I was gonna like, man, you guys have so many good movies you guys recommend. I need to seriously catch up on the movie games, right? Like, I need to get my. I need to start watching a lot more. And man, sorry, it's a bit shaky. I'm just trying to get it to stand still. Yeah, I heard of a lot of people talk about platonic relationships, right? Basically, they don't have like sex, but they're just like they're in love with each other. Yeah, I feel like spirit nowadays is a lot less spirit than before. I feel like the term religion has changed so much. 1 sec, I'm gonna fix my camera again because it's kind of annoying. Oops. Alright, thank goodness I didn't do much. My bad, my phone just fell. Now it's all messed up. Sorry for the jump scare, by the way. Man, I really need a phone stand, by the way. But, yeah, anyways, now it's just good. So right now I just have a blank canvas. I'm thinking of using this to make my points a bit easier in the future because I feel like I've always been a visual person. I learned better in school by hearing things, and I would say I learned the best through hearing, second best by like drawing, and honestly, like I would say actually learn the most through hearing the most. That's why I prefer audiobooks rather than reading the physical book itself. Yeah, I notice a lot of people tend to have like social anxiety. People just get anxious when they speak to people. Do you guys think watching movies is just as good as reading books? A lot of people say you should read books to like be smarter almost, be more educated. But I'm not too sure about movies. Honestly, it's not that cold anymore. Maybe the heater's fixed. Hold up, guys. I'm gonna check my heater. Maybe the heater's working again. I had like no heat for the longest time. Maybe now the heater is fixed by itself. Bad news, the heater's still not working. So, yeah, the heater's not working still. You should read books and watch movies. Different experience. Yeah, that makes sense. I heard even listening to audiobooks and reading books is a completely different, like, experience as well. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people make social anxiety almost like a mainstream scene now. Like people say they have social anxiety, like even when they're extroverted. Like I feel like so many people just say it, just so people don't judge them, right? It's almost like a self-defense mechanism, right? It's also a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you say something you're not, you start actually behaving like that. For example, when you say you have social anxiety, you're probably gonna behave like a person with social anxiety just because it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like same way if someone calls you dumb, like if everybody calls you you're stupid, that's gonna be ingrained in your brain. You're probably gonna think you're stupid too, and you're gonna do dumb things because of that. That's why I think it's not healthy to, self deprive yourself almost, like degrade yourself with negative things. Um, Tommy talks. You said I should put posters on my wall. Yeah, that'd be nice. Hopefully in the future I can do that. I'm gonna actually do something funny right now. I'm gonna actually try something. I'm just writing some words. It's gonna be secret what I write. Hopefully I spelled it backwards right. I'm writing like some words backwards. I think I did it correctly. And no, I did not do it correctly. Oh, come on. Why does this have to do this? Why do I have to do this? How do I write this backwards? Okay, I screwed up it completely. I wrote this, which is like... I think I just literally wrote the freaking letter backwards. I was gonna say my heater broke, but I completely botched it. Wait, why is this not working? Is this working now? Yeah, okay, I don't know why it's not showing it the way it is. Does it say broke? I just want to make sure. Get to a real country. Move to Vegas, bro. By the way, fun fact. I have a coworker at work. He's 19 years old. He won a freaking car. A car that's worth 20 grand at a nearby casino. Do I have heater coil? A copper coil that's connected to a water heater. It doesn't have a heater coil. Oh, hey, Armored Ghost. Man, so sad that I have to, like, freaking survive without a heater. That's the nice thing about being in, like, freaking Mexico, you know, in the Caribbean. You don't have to worry about a dang heater. Is it a gas furnace? Yeah, it is a gas furnace. Can you buy walrus and seal meat in Kazakhstan? Probably not. How cold is it in Canada right now? It's 10 degrees. Heating blanket? I don't have that. I think I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna write now. Oh, why is this not working? I'm trying to write something backwards, but it's not working the way I want it to be. Yeah, it's kind of dumb. It's like pretty much backwards, right? I think I know what I need to do now. I literally need to do backwards. Yep, it's a fail. I'm gonna brute force it until I get it right. Okay, I'm getting closer. I'm getting close to it. Almost there. I just need to flip this. Well, I'm trying to sync right now. I'm gonna just... Wait, is this actually gonna work? Man, I freaking hate Mirror. I don't know how this works anymore. It's like so dumb. I'm just testing out this thing, by the way. Don't worry too much about this. I know it's just dumb stuff, but... There we go. I don't know. This feels so weird writing because if I turn it upside down, it looks like this. Like I don't understand how to freaking write when it's mirrored. It's like so screwed up. Oh, for the C, draw a horseshoe that is tipped over on its right side. We need 10 very explosive push-ups with some control. Mark, you said who here struggling with dating? Alright, I'm gonna place this on the wall. You guys said I should probably put something. So I'm gonna put this here. I'm gonna put some decorations now. I'm gonna show you guys a bunch of stuff too. I also got this thing. I should probably put this on the shelf too, right? This thing looks pretty cool. I'm surprised I'm not putting this on the wall. I actually have a bunch of these. I'm gonna actually show you a lot of the decorations I have. There you go. You guys probably can't even see that because it's so far away, but you know. Yeah, I feel like that's the issue with 95, right? You don't really get flexible hours. One of my past friends, he works as a nurse. He's on call. If he wants to take a vacation, he has to book it pretty much a year in advance, right? Your schedule is very strict if you're a nurse. You're pretty much on call all the time, like a paramedic. Brian said if your furnace starts up but then shuts down after a minute, you just need to change the air filter. Oh, so I don't need to call anyone to do it. I can just do it myself. Oh, that's good to know. I'll probably just search like a tutorial on YouTube or something. Armor Girls, you said you like how my room is so minimal. I cannot stop accumulating stuff. It's actually not minimal. I have a bunch of boxes on the side. I just don't like to put it. But yeah, it's not as minimal as it looks. Let me just quickly put this somewhere. Let's see. Where did I put that thing? What did Mark say? Captain Glaze, you said, is that a PC on the table? Yeah. That's a PC. Do you know what the bat thing? Do you know why it's there? The PC literally freaking broke. Like, what happened was that the PSU, the power supply unit on a PC, like, caught on fire. And now it's, like, burnt, pretty much. That's the unfortunate part. Mark, you said you can't even get a friend. Girls care about looks. I'm not called a chat or pookie. It's fine. It's better to have like one super good friend than like many fake friends, right? Because ultimately, a lot of friends are opportunistic, right? They only are gonna be your friend to achieve a goal, right? How my computer got on fire was that there was not enough air ventilation inside. Like, I feel like it got too hot. I only had one intake fan. Apparently, you need like 2 intake fans and 2 outtake fans. I didn't have enough fans on my PC, so it ended up like basically the PSU went pop and it got fried. I even have a graphics card which is broken too now too. I do not know where the graphics card is, but yeah. Used to be here. Yeah, I did hear that. In order to get girls, you either have to have money, you have to have looks, or you have to be funny. So you have to have charisma, basically be a comedian, be a wealthy businessman, or be a model to get a girl, right? That's like pretty much the standard, right? Like everyone knows that. Or you can just like be a regular guy and just like work out and do stuff like that. Is it worth building my own desktop? I suppose it could be worth it if you have the budget. It's definitely cheaper than buying pre-built though. I'm just gonna write some stuff. I think I screwed up. I'm trying to write something right now, guys. Just gonna. My brain's not working today, so I'm probably not gonna write anything, like literally. It's just so annoying to have to write backwards. Everything, just Oh, I prefer cats. I actually own a cat. I'm pretty sure I posted some pictures on Discord. Yeah, what do you guys think about pills, by the way? You know the movie Matrix? There's like the black pill, there's the white pill, there's the blue pill, and the red pill. Like, I'm sure a lot of you seen the Matrix. Dye your hair blonde. I don't think I should dye my hair blonde, to be honest. I feel like I would not look blonde, to be honest, right? Like, black hair probably still looks the best on me. Like, I'm actually not too sure, but... I rarely see any Asians dye their hair blonde. And yeah, honestly, you just need confidence. If you have confidence, you can be funny. And girls like people who are funny. Yeah, that's the funny. Actually, the incel forums are always like, here. But honestly, I have nothing against those guys. I'm also grateful they actually, even saw me, right? Because, like, I feel like they definitely helped me bring more people in as well. And I do want to spread awareness for the stuff I say. So, they might not agree with everything I say, but, Oh, what's a fob? I don't know what a fob is. You guys have a lot of terminology I don't really know. I feel like I'm a bit of a boomer when it comes to these things, right? Like, introverted, introspective people tend to be drawn to cats. I can see why. Dogs, you have to go outside. Cats, you can be an incel and have a cat, right? But if you have a dog, you have to go outside. And some people don't like to go outside, essentially. Shoot. Sorry, guys. I fell again. I don't know why it's like this. Introverted, introspective people are on the cats. Genetics plays a huge role attracting women. Your game is your looks. Well, you can definitely improve your looks, right? Get facial surgery. You can change up your hairstyle. You can work out. But yeah, basically, some people have it easier, right? Like, technically, some people don't even need to do much to make themselves look better. Like, genetics can actually make you work a lot. Some people can work less hard just because of their gift. I guess I appreciate for everyone who likes my videos, even if you're from an incel forum, by the way. I appreciate you here. I'm here to just have an open conversation. I don't really want to, what do you call the term? Like, I don't want to just silence certain groups of people just because they're, have differing opinions. If you think about it, people that are consider incels are no different from people that are liberals and conservatives, right? Or someone who's Christian, and they all have their own unique ideologies, right? I don't think we should like seclude a group of people just because they have a certain belief. But I definitely feel like some beliefs are a bit more on the extreme side on things, right? Like even the black pills, right? Black pill, white pill, blue pill, red pill, like all of them are very different. They're probably not going to get along with each other. What are your thoughts on dating ugly women, by the way? Would you rather date okay, here's a question for all of you. Would you rather date a girl that is ugly, like a 2 out of 10, but her personality is like a 9 to 10 out of 10? Or would you rather date a hot girl, like a super attractive girl, conventionally attractive girl that's like 9 to 10 out of 10, but she has a 2 out of 10 personality? I know a lot of people are gonna say personality, right? They care more about personality than looks, but I feel like, let's be honest, there's gonna be some guys that just cares about looks. Unfortunately, like looks are probably gonna matter more. Like whoever is gonna give you a better time. So I see that makes sense. So some of you would just go for looks because some of you think women are just like their personality won't be that great. Like they basically peak at a certain. I mean, I respect all your answers. Yeah, I feel like it depends really. Yeah, it's definitely much harder to improve looks. I feel like personality can be changed, but looks. Let's say if you're dating a girl that's 2 out of 10, I don't know. You probably need to tell her to lose weight, tell her to get surgery, and I feel like that's just a lot more expensive than fixing personality, right? Fixing personality is a lot cheaper than fixing looks, and they might not even want to change the look, right? Girls have always had the upper hand in dating world. That's just the way it is. Yeah, that's true. I feel like the issue is that there's too many men on Earth. I heard that there's more men than women on Earth for some reason. What do I mean by 2 out of 10? For 2 out of 10 means maybe she has a deformed face. Maybe she's like obese. You know, like someone you typically see that only eats junk food, right? Also, I heard a lot of terms like Chad Max, retard Max, and like Chad Max is pretty much the standard, lifting weights, looking like an alpha male, and then there's retard Max, which is kind of like blue pill, kind of like you brainwashing yourself. You're not taking life seriously, right? Life, you're treating life almost like in the perspective of a toddler, retard Max. You're essentially just like acting dumb, just taking life in easy mode, you don't care what other people think. It's like there's a lot of different terminologies, right? Do you all have work on Monday? For me, luckily, I don't have work on Monday. It's a holiday on Monday, but I feel bad for the people who work 9 to 5, man. Like, I don't know how some people work 9 to 5. Like, actually, I'm curious. How do people survive a 9 to 5 without feeling like crap? Like, maybe if you're making a lot of money, but for me, I don't know. I just don't like being confined, working 8 hours, being stuck there. You don't have control over your body. You have to do what your managers tell you. It feels like prison almost, like a glorified prison, like a freaking camp. Oh yeah, there are neats. I'm actually and hikikomoris. I mean, like neats probably have it on easy mode. All they have to worry about is finding a girl, right? Actually, I need to stop mixing up NEET and insoles. I feel like NEET and insoles are different, right? And NEETs. Like NEETs is just someone who doesn't have a job and they're not currently in school. But an incel is like someone who's like doesn't like women, I guess. Johnny, you said I tried to date an incel. He rejected me, didn't call me ugly, but he basically implied it. Said I wasn't attracted to him. I mean, I'm trying to think because do you think there's any insults that are actually attractive, like 8 out of 10? Like, is it possible for insult to be attractive? Anyways, I think I just realized I've been streaming for like almost 2 hours. Honestly, like probably just gonna eat now. But thanks for the stream. I know that it's not like that long, but appreciate all you being here anyways. Because I also need to use the washroom. Also, one sec. I also got a delivery from Amazon, so probably have to go. But I might stream like on Tuesday, probably most likely. I'll see. Anyways, I appreciate all of you being here. I think also the chat is talking about insults now. I think now's a good time to end the stream anyways, before it gets too hectic. You guys can fight in Discord if you guys want, but anyways, I gotta go now. And yeah, take care. I really gotta go, because the Amazon guy is gonna be pissed if I don't go there. Try to figure out how to end my stream. Alright, take care guys. Sorry for the abrupt and